When I got out of the military, I had a hard time translating my military experience into the civilian world. I'll be honest with you, if it wasn't for my wife, I probably would have been that homeless or impoverished vet. But it can be easier with the right support. I'm Mark Casper, and I'm the Executive Director of Tech4Troops. In today's world, you have to have a computer to be able to apply for jobs. Our mission is to empower veterans in need with computers and training to get back in the workforce.
Here at Tech4Troops, we're here to push you forward to get you back to where you want to be in life. When the veterans come in, I teach them everything you could think of that's done with a computer. I want them to feel that this is a tool that's going to help them get their life back.
I went into a kind of a deep depression. Eventually, I lost my job and I was out on the street. The computer was able to connect me to the web, and I was able to start putting resumes out. And you have to have these small building blocks to get from point A to point B. I'm not worried about employment anymore.
The need is great, and we want to be able to support our veterans across the nation.
All right, welcome everybody to the Tech4Troops Michigan 240 here in the rolling hills of Brooklyn, Michigan. Welcome to the IWM broadcast of the Tech4Troops Cup Series. I'm Rick Souza, joined here in the booth with my co-host, John DeRudris. And John, this is take two at Michigan. We've been here already before.
We have, and we had a good race previously, and we're looking for another strong event here tonight. Big fan of Michigan. It's a big sweeping track. Think of it as like a big Kansas, essentially. And these drivers should have a lot of room to race and a lot of room to decide who could possibly squeak home and get a victory here tonight. Right now, I do believe qualifying just ended, Rick. So let's go on and get some track facts up really quick about tonight's Michigan 240 here, brought to you by the Tech4Troops Cup Series and the IWM Broadcast Network. I don't know if you're able to bring those up due to some graphic issues, but we have 120 laps here tonight. No fast repairs, 60% fuel, so a little bit different. Not going to have any quick repairs for any of the drivers here tonight. But as always, we are going to have 60% fuel. And Rick, I believe we have 4 sets of tires in the pits, which is typical, I believe. Let me double check that. But as I look up those tire numbers, Rick, let's bring up, if you can you bring up the starting lineup?
Let's see what we can do tonight. We are somewhat handicapped by our broadcasting partner. We'll see what the booth will allow us to do. Just give us a moment here.
And just to confirm, there are 5 sets of tires.
So it does not look like the grid's going to cooperate for the moment. We'll have to just read it off based on what we've got.
take it away.
So Chris Worrell is going to be your pole sitter and winner of the Owl's Nest Racing Pole Award. Zach Ward is in P2, Mark Hanna in 3, Alonzo King in 4, Jeff Nairn in 5, Joey Doucette in 6, Luke Bullard in 7th, Ty Bostic in 8th, Christoph Hall in 9th, David Clayman in 10th, Marco Berube in 11th, Jesse Vaughn will be in 12th, Grant Altizer in 13th, Maurice Burnett in 14th, John Ledger in 15th, 16th is Philip Vanderwick in 17th, Austin Abel, Ryan Pittman finds himself in 18th, Evan Amick in 19th, and Jeff Needy in 20th. David Watts in 21, William Mann Jr. in 22, Pete Woodrum in 23, Harley Barletta finds himself in 24th, 25th, Brad Previtt, 26th, Bobby Gibson, Charles Van Scoik, 27th, Timmy Harrell, 28th, Travis Murgaard in 29th, and Jeff Nani is in 30th. All right, we're hoping things settle out. We may have to try and reload some of these graphics to try and see if we can get things to fix themselves.
If we do, no worries. No worries about that. Oh, there we go.
Here's
look at all of them load.
All kinds of information.
Rick, don't wanna put too much strain on the graphics, so I'll just run through my keys to the race now.
We can bring those up. Go ahead, John.
Alrighty, so number one, it's definitely going to be tires. Tire conservation here, you're going to be leaning on the right sides. That's going to be a big portion of this race. Second is going to be pitch strategy. So I think we're going to have some green flag runs here, and I think that's going to be very essential to whoever's going to bring out top. Third, passing. Or track position rather. Passing, track position, however you want to say it. Track position on restarts, specifically restarts, and how you can gain position on those restarts is going to be key to whoever can finish out top tonight. Pace car dips down pit road here, and it looks we have Chris Worrell on the pole, and we're going green here at the IWM Broadcast Network. Green flag in the air for the Michigan 240 as the field dives into turn 1. Rick, we're going to do 3-1 action.
We are already. These guys are spreading out. Michigan is a wide track, and so these guys are trying to find their way around here, find their best way. You'll find guys who will take and ride that high line, and others will go aggressively down, and of course it will be a battle of tire wear.
It definitely will, and without that fast repair, we may see a little bit of a slight change in aggressiveness here early on. Because of the fact that, you don't have that safety net. And if you aren't involved in an incident, well, that's it. You're done. So we'll see what's happening now. No change within the top 2, but Alonzo King up to 3rd. Joey Doucette up to 4th. Mark Hanna has now dropped back to P5 as we are just 2 laps in here. You got a bright pink car of Alonzo King there in 3rd. Oh, car hit the wall, I believe. He should keep on going in the right direction as we have an 8-7 lead as we go into turn 3. 7 dove in there a little bit.
Yeah, that's
hard,
Zach
but able to
Ward.
make it stick. Zach Ward's had a very strong couple of weeks, so it's great to see him running up front.
Chris Worrell has put up the fastest time so far with a lap of 38.63. Bobby Gibson had a visit to the pits. Not sure what was impacting Bobby's car, but he is in and now out.
Not sure he has shown 2 laps down.
Overcast day today. We could probably bring up that bit of race information while we're here. Track temperature is 79 degrees, 73 ambient, 34% humidity, and it is very overcast here in Michigan. No threat of rain or showers in the forecast, but definitely overcast.
definitely overcast, and that's going to provide for a little bit more grip here in the track, especially on really any kind of condition. Obviously, once the tires start to wear, there'll be a little bit of a different situation. But right now, as it stands, you have a tight battle for first, second, third, fourth, and I even say fifth there with Joey Doucette and Mark Hanna rounding out your top 5. Joey Doucette still looking for a win. Or another one, I guess. He won last week, rather, so he's still looking for another win to do and repeat what he did last year, having multiple wins going into the playoffs. So we'll see if he's able to make a run here. Here comes Alonzo King now to the inside of Zach Ward. Let's see if he's able to get that done, but don't look too far behind. Joey Doucette is right there, nose to tail as they dive into turn 1. Here comes Zach Ward to the bottom side. We saw this in the Cup Series, Rick, and this really didn't work for many drivers. Nope,
not at all, but who knows here at Michigan under these conditions. We'll see just what happens here. But you can definitely get a run. You know, we saw those Toyotas be able to just find some incredible speed coming out.
We did, and we see a little bit of a loose condition there out of Alonso as they come out of 4, but trying to make the pass on Zach Ward, and he does make the pass up to second place. Zach Ward still battling, but a big thing that plays into factor here, Rick, is the draft. The draft is such an important part of this race as you see Alonzo King dive down beneath the 8 machine of Worrell.
And part of the draft is also not allowing yourself to be used as part of that draft. And you'll see drivers dive down and break up that draft, so that car that's running behind them won't get a chance to leverage that.
Exactly, you know, and if I had to pick what position I want as Alonzo King takes the lead here on going to lap 8, if I were a driver, I'd want to be in that second place position. I wouldn't want to be in first. You have to block basically 4 or 5 lanes of traffic behind you that a driver can easily get a run and get around you. So I would rather be in second place if this race were to come down to a last lap pass. But right now, it's pretty calm. Everybody's minding their P's and Q's. But Rick, we have trends. We know what the trend is. We're approaching the trend. I'm not going to say what the trend is, but if you watch any of these races, you know exactly what I'm talking about because I mentioned it last week.
Well, we're going to hope that trend is broken here. Let's take a quick look at the current point standings of these drivers. We'll bring that up while we have some green flag conditions. So we've got a number of drivers who have punched their way into the playoffs. Alonzo King with 2 wins, Ty Bostic with 2, Luke Bullard, Ryan Pittman, Harley Barletta, Sean Skytman, Sammy Harrell, Joey Doucette, Zach Allen, Charles Van Squake. Those guys have made it in via wins, but the folks with points, William Mann Jr., Mike Slagter, Jeff Neeren, Christoph Hall, those guys are pretty safe. John Ledger. But then things get interesting. Ian Ogden is at that cut, and you've got Maurice Burnett, who's just 5 points behind. Mark Hanna just 10. David Clayman at 263. Zach Ward at 263. Jesse Vaughn at 226. They're all relatively close. All it'll take is a couple good finishes, and these guys can find their way getting in on points.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. And, you know, speaking of some of those guys who need a win, Zach Ward needs a win. Mark Hanna needs a win. So all these guys that are battling up here, dude, Jeff Neeren, what a season he's had. He still needs a win. Clayman needs a win. So all these guys right now battling up here in the front need a win. And
this is the second group. This is Jeff Neeren, Jesse Vaughn, he needs a win, John Ledger, Christoph Hall, Maurice Burnett, and Grant Altizer back there. Then you've got this third group that's coming up. Now, Charles Van Scoik, he started 13th. I'm sorry, he started 28th. He's now up to 15th. He's picked up 13 spots.
Yeah, he's on the move here, and you know he did get that win at Pocono. The win was changed over due to that lane change by Alonzo King. So Van Scoik is in to the championship rounds here. So maybe his teammate Sammy Harrell can get a win.
Well, you know these guys both started pretty much 28th and 29th. They made it a point to start at the back of the pack. and they're driving their way up. They're now up both 13 spots to their current position. And this may be one of those tracks where it's okay, especially if this does, we have long green flag sessions. It's all going to be about pit strategy.
It is. They're only 5 seconds behind the leader right now, so they're not by any means out of it. So we'll see how this strategy plays out. You see Ryan Pittman on the back doorstep there of that 42 machine. So we'll see what they're able to do. But definitely a lot of teammate work here and a lot of teamwork as well going into. Big drop down there.
That was a 91 of Brad Previtt. So he can try and find his way around the 48 of Philip Vanderwick. I messed that up all the time.
Van Noordwijk. There's so many different ways you could say it.
Yeah, but he corrected. I've got to go back. He did correct us. We apologize. It's been a moment since we've talked about this.
While you look that up, run through the top 5 right here. We have Alonzo King just taking the lead away from the 8 of Chris Worrell, Zach Ward in 3rd. Second, Ty Bostic there in 4th. Joey Doucette in 5th. All still battling for that top position. And with that being said, that bright pink car out front, Alonzo King looking to get his 3rd win of the season. But here comes Zach Ward down to the bottom side going into turn 3. He's going to slide up the track. That's a danger you play when you try to go side by side here at Michigan. 16 laps in. Now we have a possible pass on the outside. With the 8 car of Chris Morrell, he goes into turn 1, trying to get back to the point here. Has a great run. Going to pinch that pink car of Alonzo King down. Alonzo gets a little loose, and just like that, Chris Morrell is back in the point.
Mark Hanna was a little loose as well. With 16 laps in, all green flag, these guys are running pretty fast. Let's look. We can jump in Chris Morrell's car here. Let's take a look at that and get some information. We're nearly 200 miles an hour in the draft here with these guys.
Wow, literally basically 175, 180 into the corners. They are hauling it around this Michigan track, Michigan International Speedway. MIS as he goes to the bottom side, trying to get a little bit of a.
He's trying. He's holding it.
Nose. He's gonna. Oh,
a little bit of contact.
Yeah, he's there though. See if he can side draft him going down the front. He is going to successfully do that, but Alonzo King has that top line that's going to give him a little bit of push as the corner entry here. We'll see if that helps out at all.
He's got Joey Doucette right there too. That did not hurt.
Not at all. Here comes Ty Bostic to the outside again.
Huge run.
Up to 4th.
Yellow flag. Yellow flag.
Yep, we're reckoning in the back. That is Jeff Nairn. Spun around. That brings out our first caution of, hey, Rick, we beat the trend. We beat the trend here. We're on lap 19. Look at that.
Let's see if we can figure out just what happened to Jeff.
It looks like he got loose and overcorrected, possibly.
Well, he's definitely up on the wall. They're nearly 3 wide with the 08, the 42. Oh, and he
got clipped.
Got clipped by the 42, and then doored by the 08.
Was he able to keep it off the wall? I don't think so.
Nope. Not terrible contact.
There for Jeff.
But...
Well, this should bring out some pit crews on pit road, and we should be able to get our first round of pit stops underway. Lap 19 of 120 complete. Love seeing these guys come down pit road, and let's see who's going to be the first driver to win the battle out of pit road. You have Alonzo King leading the field with Worrell, Doucette, Bostic, Clayman, and Bullard behind them.
The entire field is on pit road.
As you would expect at this point in time, you don't want to have anything going on. It looks like we have a little bit of a battle going on right here. Here comes all the drivers down pit road. Who's going to be the cleanest driver in the pits? I think Alonzo is going to be able to get out of pit road before. Oh, wow. 2-tire stop for the 8 machine. A couple 2-tire stops.
That completely shakes up the field.
I was not expecting to take a 2-tire stop this early, Rick.
Or was it just fuel? Did we see Chris Worrell go up?
Oh, we're going to have to take a look. But, I mean, the lap times weren't really that far off. They were all running, I believe, in the... I have to go back and take a look and see what they were running, but I think they were still running some fairly consistent lap times.
Yeah, we'll have to go back and take a peek at that. I'm not sure we can find exactly. Go see if I can find Chris Worrell leaving pit lane here.
The last couple laps that I've seen, lap 16 was a 39 flat for the 8 car. Lap 17 was a 39.2. Lap 18 was a 39.2. And then we had the caution, which if you're looking at fastest lap times, you have 38.3, 38.4s. That's bold to not take any tires if he didn't. I mean, that's very bold because he was a full second off the pace. There's some left sides.
Yeah, we're going to change our camera here. Let's back it up just a little bit.
Maybe I just completely missed it. No, just left sides. Does that make any sense to you, Rick?
Nope, but that's left sides and fuel. So we're going to assume, and I'm sure these guys have a good handle on tire wear, and so after 20 laps, he felt left sides was where to go.
We'll see how this shapes out, because everybody came down on pit road around the same time. A couple drivers I want to pay attention to. Alonzo King there, back in the 4th spot. That's a driver to watch because he has the first
and
tires.
Charles Van Scoik in 2nd position. Fuel only, up plus 26, now showing in 2nd position.
That's just a gutsy call. I mean, maybe tire wear is not that bad here at Michigan, Rick, but I guess we're about to find out as the pace car dives down.
Pretty much everybody 4th position back took 4 tires and fuel.
Well, we're about to see who's going to get freight train green flag back in the air here at the Michigan 240. And the top 3, you know, we know what they got. Top 2, we know what they got. So we'll see if they get completely steamrolled here as they go on the turn 1. Looks like a little bit of a stack up on the high side.
Well, Alonzo King
between the 80. Yep.
Alonzo King took 4 tires and fuel, so he's got fresh tires there. You know, we said restarts is going to be a problem. You just saw the 11 contact with, I think, Ty Bostic.
Yeah, I don't know if the 11 was entirely clear. Well, here we go. We're about to see what happens here in the next lap or two. Once these tires hit temperature, what is going to be the story of this call with no tires or just left sides?
That's the 44 of Christoph Hall on that outside line. Another driver who took 4 tires.
Here comes Alonso to the inside of the 44. We'll see if he's able to make that pass. He looks like he possibly will. Yep, I believe he does. And now he's going to work on the 42 machine, or 41 machine of Charles Van Scoik, as that lead is slowly dwindling down between those drivers and the 8 machine. Now 3 laps into this stint.
Oh, contact. That's the 11 of Doucette, came up and slightly contacted the left rear quarter panel of the 41.
I think the 80 is going to fly by the 8 here. I just don't know if the 8 has the grip at the moment. Maybe they know something that we don't know. But on paper, it doesn't make much sense. I mean, there you go. There's a story right there. In one corner, Alonzo King took the lead, and here comes the rest of the field. You have the 3 of Bullard there. You have basically 10 to 15 cars in this lead pack that are all battling side by side.
3 wide.
See 3 wide, exactly, coming out of turn 2. It's a little bit of a pinch there.
Yeah, we're watching this whole pack because there's a number of drivers mixed in this group that took only fuel only or just left side tires, and they are getting cycled back a little bit here, although the 8 of Chris Worrell, he is holding on to P2.
He's holding on. I just don't know how long it's going to happen. You could already see the delta being formed between him and the 80 machine of Alonzo King. It's a gutsy call. I mean, maybe there was a mistake. I definitely would have taken 4 tires, but they seem to be holding out fairly well as this race plays on. Here comes Luke Bullard to the high side, seeing if he can get a run. He does get a run on the 41 machine.
They are slicing and dicing up here.
Bullard looking for his 2nd win on the season. There's Joey Doucette in P3, trying to get around the 8 machine, as here Luke Bullard, big run as you see a draft. Oh no, he jumps to the outside.
He tried to block. It was like the 11 tried to block the 3.
Yeah,
and that did not work out.
No, I think that the 8's holding them up here a little bit. I mean, they definitely have better tires. It seems like here comes the 11 right in front of the 8 machine as they get out of turn 2. Yeah, they're going to get swallowed up here. 3 wide now, going into turn 3, 2 wide.
It was 3. We're kind of looking back here as the 8 cycles back.
I mean, the 8's just, almost like a super speedway. If you get left with nobody to help you behind you, you're all the way to the back of the pack, and that's where he's at right now.
A bit of wall contact there, I think, by the 41. So yeah, this cycle of pit stops and different strategies is certainly playing havoc on this field as guys are beginning to slip back. All those guys that were 1, 2, 3, and 4 who came out with just fuel only or fuel and one side tires would now have fallen back to 6th, to 8th, and to 11th.
The only other strategy, which in this case I could agree with, is track position for Van Scoik until the next round of pit stops, or they're trying to conserve a set of tires and save a set of tires. But with 5 in the pits, I mean, that's 1 set of tires every 20 laps. We had a caution on lap 19, so I understand if that could possibly be the case, expecting that we're going to have more than 5 or 6 cautions. But as of right now, I think track position is
This is a guy that's up 21 positions, or 20 plus positions. So it's okay, I guess, if in this early part of the race, heck, we're only 30 laps in, we're 25% into this race. He's looking for a different strategy.
Yeah, take a gamble. Why not? He does have that 1 win on the season at Pocono a couple weeks back, so he does have that in the bank, locked into the playoffs. So he can make that gamble. As like you said, we are a quarter of the way done here at the Tech4Troops Michigan 240. Want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight, who's watching on all of our platforms. Want to thank Tech4Troops for being the title sponsor, U-Haul, as well as the 1111 Veteran Project for being on board.
So basically on that note, John, we're going to run a quick side-by-side commercial. We appreciate you all tuning in, and we'll be right back.
When veterans get out of the military, a lot of them don't know how to translate their skill sets into the civilian world, and they lapse into poverty or into homelessness. But it can be easier with the right support. At Tech4Troops, our mission is to empower veterans in need with computers and training to get back in the workforce. We want to be able to support our veterans across the nation.
Welcome back to the Tech4Troops Michigan 240 on the IWM Broadcast Network. We thank you for tuning in, and we are at lap 32. Alonzo King is our leader, and we've just gone through one round. We had one yellow flag come out and a first round of pit stops around lap 19, but we're showing pretty much the whole field is, they said it about Michigan with the regular NASCAR crew is that everybody is racing everyone else as if it's the last lap.
It's so true. I mean, look at the 11 and the 17 battling now with the 3 and the 7 behind them. I mean, it's all about trying to get as many positions as you can while your tires are still alive. Because passing here, it takes some skill, and it takes maybe not the immediate pass to take. You have to set it up. You have to get a run down the back to then pass going into turn 2, as we see some 3-wide action now as we hit the front stretch. That was close. But you have to really set up the pass here. If you want to pass in turn 3, you have to start that coming out of 4 by having a strong run going into 1. So you have to really carry momentum here, and it's a battle of attrition with yourself, I think, when knowing where you are and how to get that run. Rick, as it stands, some of the bigger movers of the race, Van Scoik up 18, Barletta up 13, and Sammy Harrell up 14 positions as well. They are in 10th, 11th, and 15th as they run.
We're watching different battles around the track. This is the battle with David Clayman, Zach Ward, Ty Bosick is there, and the 11 of Joey Doucette. Those guys are all battling, really, Doucette for second place.
They are, and this delta between first and second has been around the 1.3 to 1.5 mark. It seems like whenever they get on the straightaway, they gain, obviously, because there are multiple cars in that draft, now cutting it down to 1.3 seconds. But it's going to be, I think, a little bit of a matter of time before they start to catch Alonzo King up there in the lead. They're going to catch him. It's just going to be a matter of when, as we see the 7 coming up the track, trying to get a side draft off of the 3, but the 3 is going to tuck in right behind and get a good run out of the corner to push that 11 a little bit closer to that 80 machine.
You've got the 84 of Jesse Vaughn, who's right there at the tail end of that pack, that group of 6 cars. Maurice Burnett follows them up. He's by himself back here. He's trying to catch those guys, and then back behind him, Mark Hanna. And then another group of guys led by Harley Barletta has John Ledger, Charles Van Scoik, Sammy Harrell, Pete Woodrum in it, Brad Previck, Christoph Hall, Grant Altizer, Chris Morrell. First, let's see how far Chris Morrell has fallen back. He's now at 19.
Yeah, it's. I know he's going to be back up in the front here, but is he? I don't see, if you're going to change left sides, why you wouldn't change rights as well. But maybe he's trying to set his car up to where he only has to take right side tires the next time. Oh, car loose out of 2. He saves it though. What a save!
12 of Grant Altizer.
What a good save by the 12th there of Mr. Altizer. But yeah, as I was saying, Rick, maybe he's just trying to play it out to where the next time he comes down pit road, he only has to take 2 right side tires, and he can gain that position back up. I don't know, but we'll see as the race plays out. Now the gap down to about 1.1 seconds as Zach Ward takes the 4th spot away from David Clayman as they're battling right now side by side coming out of turn 2. And let's talk about David Clayman really quick. He's been up in the front the last couple races, still looking for that win, Rick. What do you think? Do you think he has what it takes to potentially get a win?
Oh, absolutely. He's been up front week after week. We've seen him just really scratching against that top 5. sometimes he's been involved in an incident that really could have put him on the podium, or more importantly, up front and to win the race. So I think he's got everything that it takes to get to the front and win one of these.
And another driver I'm going to second that up with is that driver that's just creeping right behind them now to go into the inside there. That's the 84 Carvana Camaro of Jesse Vaughn. You know, he's been here. He's a newcomer in this series, but he has proven to be a very consistent, methodical driver and just hangs out until the very end. And he's been up at the front of some of these races and had a chance to win. So look for Jesse to make a little bit of a splash. Same thing with Zach Ward. Zach Ward has been up front as of late in that number 7 machine. So look to have him possibly squeak home a win. Lead now down to about 0.8 of a second, Rick. It's just a matter of time before they catch that that number 80 machine. Now, got to ask a question. Ooh, a little bit loose out of Joey Doucette. Do you think that these guys behind Alonzo King are saving any gas because of the fact that they are drafting? Do you think they're able to save anything?
I don't think there's much saving going on. This pack of 6 cars behind Alonso are racing each other as if they're racing for the win. So they've got to get organized. Whether that's with 6 cars together, they should be able to go nose to tail and run King down.
Yeah, well, race car drivers are selfish. All of them are. They want to get as many spots as they can get. So single file may not be an option.
Well, 41 laps into this race. We've just had 1 caution so far. And I'm beginning to think about fuel strategy. So we know they pitted last on lap 19, lap 20. So that's about 21, 22 laps ago. Any idea where we should see them come down or looking for fuel?
So with my knowledge of the track and my knowledge on where they stand, they should be coming down about lap 30. Or, my bad, 30 laps into a stint. That would make the most sense, 25 to 30. So they should be coming in here possibly within the next 10 laps, I'd say. So we'll see who pits around this time. I'm looking at my tracker right now. Nobody on pit road as of yet. But the second that we start seeing these drivers come down pit road, we will know exactly what that fuel mark is. And I would even think about potentially short pitting, getting a little bit off sequence. If you're in a pack like this, I wouldn't recommend it. But I definitely think around 25 to 30 laps on a run is where we stand. So let's see who's going to be that first taker down pit road and who's able to actually get some track position. As it stands right now, though, Rick, we do have 1 car on pit road. I do not know why.
Travis Morgard, I think he's just getting some repairs made. He'll be there for a while.
I believe so. That is correct.
And Bobby Gibson's 4 laps down, so another caution comes out. He'll get one of those laps back. And
these guys are battling really hard, Rick, and that gap has now increased back up to 1.35 seconds on that second place driver now of what is now the 7 of Zach Ward. So we'll see if Zach's able to close the gap a little bit. Maybe he's just a little bit tired of driving around those guys. He is having, a little bit of space between him and the third place driver, Doucette. So maybe Ward's a driver we should pay attention to.
You're going to definitely find a gap between you when everybody behind you is running 2 and 3 wide, battling each other. That's right there, an NB2 sandwich with Doucette in the middle.
Yeah, I know track position is important, but right here, I would think I would play this in a very different way. I would want to either get around these guys or I would want to stay in single file line and not try to pass like you were saying, so you can gain on the leader, which Zach Ward has been doing. He has now got the lead down to just about 1.1 seconds. So we'll see. We do have a car on pit road. That is Pete Woodrum, has come down on lap 46 going to 47. Or I guess technically, it should be 46 for him. So got a couple more. Got Jeff Denis, James Altizer was on pit road. I think he is on pit road as it stands. We have some green flag stops happening, Rick. on lap
Yep.
46.
Yep, I think Greg Altizer may have overshot pit road on that stop. But yeah, Grant Altizer, Jeff McNee, Bobby Gibson, all on pit road. Pete Woodrum is off. That he had 4 tires and fuel.
He did, and that was about 25. It looks
Zach
like
Ward.
Zach Ward.
Yep. We're now
There you
seeing
go.
a leader on pit road. So
We
it
are.
looks to be lap 47, lap 19. So right at 30 laps or so.
Yep,
And a fuel
right
run.
about, yep, exactly, about 27 from 28 laps. So right in between that window I was looking at. So we'll see what he's able to do. A little bit of a slow entry there into pit road, but all the matter trying to get back. David Watts down, Brad Previtt down pit road as well. We're going to see, here comes the leader, Alonzo King, making his way down in that bright pink car. David Clayman coming down as well. Ooh, a little bit of smoke out of the 17. Philip Banner
Speaking-
down.
Excuse me, gentlemen. I was just going to say, speaking of Alonzo King and Zach Ward, I wanted to acknowledge them as the Tech4Troops Scheme Skirmish winners for this week. So as soon as I have your email, gentlemen, that $5 Amazon sweet loot is headed your way.
And unfortunately, during all of that, there was a caution that has come out. We're going to look
It's
for...
the nature of the beast.
It is, and you know we hit a new trend tonight. That was exactly 19 laps away from the original or the previous caution. Oh, hard hit.
John
for
Ledger, Maurice
Mr.
Burnett.
Ledger.
Yeah, so let's
Right.
kind of back that up a bit, just see what happened with himself and Maurice Burnett here. You
Looks
can
like
see
John drifted up.
he's definitely, you can see the seam that the 88 is on, and the 19 just came up and clipped him, and unfortunately he got hooked. Nose first in the wall. Major damage on the 19. 88's got spun around pretty good. I think that the 19 unfortunately got the worst of that.
He did. But congrats to those drivers though for that sweet Amazon loot. It's always good to have the Amazon loot in your back pocket whenever you want to buy something for yourself on Amazon or somebody else. But yeah, as it stands right now, and that's Ty Bostic has made his way up to the point, but I believe they're gonna have to come down pit road because those leaders have not made it down yet.
Nope, they're all. So this is going to really jumble up everything. So we'll just see how it all shakes out. Jason, good to hear you back, and we thank Jason Parker for popping in to award to our drivers the Tech4Troops Scheme Skirmish that they do each and every week. We appreciate all that Tech4Troops does for our series. All right, so we've got a little caution here. We're going to take a quick pause and run a commercial. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for a way to safely and securely dispose of your old electronic devices? Why not donate them to Tech4Troops? Tech4Troops is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to bridging the technology gap for in-need veterans and their families. The donation process is quick and easy. Simply go to tech4troops.org and click on the donate link at the top right-hand side of the page. Scroll down to access the Give Back Box link. To create your shipping label, click Add to Cart and complete the checkout process. The shipping label is good for up to 50 pounds. You can recycle most standard shipping boxes to send in your devices. Oh, don't forget the power cords. Give new life to your old technology by responsibly recycling with Tech4Troops. Help save the environment and support a veteran.
All right, welcome back to the Tech4Troops Michigan 240 here at the Michigan International Speedway. Welcome back to the IWM broadcast of the Tech4Troops Cup Series. I'm Rick Souza, joined here with my co-host John DeRudris, and we are under caution, lap 50 here, because of an incident between Maurice Burnett and John Ledger. And unlike previous races, the drivers do not have a free repair in their back pocket. So they've got to stay on pit road if they can and make those repairs, see if they can get back out and run. But if there's damage on those cars, there's damage on those cars.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, and it's going to be interesting to see how this race is now played out because the damage on the car is the big thing. Also, what is going on? Whole field stacked up. What just happened?
The last thing you want is to get damage as you line up in a restart.
Yeah, something that was very weird. The whole field is just jumbled up there. It looks like the race control has extended the caution by 1 lap. Now it's going to be 2 laps to green, 1 lap to green as we hit the line.
We've got a number of cars who have now gone a lap down. Starting with the 18th place of Jeff Narin. He is now just a whole group of guys. Narin, Marco Berube, Vanderwick, Jeff Needy, Brad Previtt, Evan Amick, David Watts, Grant Multouch. Those guys are all 1 lap down.
Yeah, I think they should get the wave around though, shouldn't they?
I don't know.
Because I mean, yeah, they did come down pit road before the caution, but they should have been to the front of the pack and they should have gotten a wave around, from my understanding, Rick. David Overstreet back down pit road. Not really sure what's going to happen, but it looks like some of these drivers aren't going to get their lap back.
Nope, and the field is really just not together. So, guys, we're commenting here on the upcoming pending restart here at lap 52. Oh, we got the 22 of Ty Bostic experiencing some connection issues.
Never good having connection issues, especially when you're leading the pack.
That is correct. So it's like your top 10 is Ward, Bostic, Doucette, Vaughn, Barletta, Worrell, Harrell, Van Scoik, Hall, and Mann. We are about to go back to line racing.
Here we go.
Race car is off.
They're on the Geico restart zone and back to green flag racing. Green in the air. Zach Ward at the point, 53 laps complete. Here out of 120, just about halfway.
Good restart by the 7. Joey Doucette's right there. He's got Chris Morrell on his bumper.
Oh, wrecking in the back. That's Alonzo King. That's Alonzo King wrecking. Caution is out. Oh, 40's wrecking. The 48's involved. More drivers involved. Big wreck in the back. Marco Berube.
48.
Jeff Denis.
So I've got Phil Vanderwerk, Austin Hable, Bobby Gibson, Jeff Denis, Jeff Narin, all involved in one way or another in this incident.
And that may be the end of the day for Mr. Alonzo King.
We're going to do our best to try and figure out just where this wreck happened. Oh.
Let's go back and take a look at that.
Watch the wheel. He's right there with the 6. Driver error.
I mean, the 6 was, yeah, it seemed like the 6 held what he was, held the line. But did he hold the, yeah, I mean, that's tough, Rick. What do you think?
I'm just going to chalk up to both guys battling for the same space. Unfortunately, the 45 then gets into the rear of the 80. They're still banging against each other. That's the 80 and the 6 of Austin Hable. 77 gets through. The 17 gets through. The 91 gets through. But they're above. That's the 40 and the 48 collecting up on top. Bobby Gibson sneaks by. Pete Woodrum. And unfortunately, because of that wreck up front, Marco Berube then tags the 48. And a little bit of pandemonium ensues.
Just a little bit. To say the least.
All right, but as we were saying before, folks, they don't have a fast repair. That means if you've got damage on your car, you've got to get it fixed. And sometimes it's fixable. Sometimes it's not. And that may cause you to park it for the day. So with 66 laps to go, 55 in the books, our third caution comes out for an incident between the 80 of Alonzo King and the 6 of Hable. No
Fortunate
takers
there for Alonzo King.
Yeah, no takers for pit road. They just came off of pit road on lap 49, just 6 laps previous. Well, we can talk about team points and team championships. One of the things that we do here in this series is these guys, just like you see on NASCAR weekend, there are stables of cars, and here we've got teams. And so the teams' standings right now, and there's a pot of loot at the end of the season for that team championship. But right now, what we've got to see is the NB2 Motorsports. That's Ty Bostic and Jeff Nairn, and who am I missing? Luke Bullard. They are currently atop of the current team standings. Right behind them, the Team 43 GOAT Racing has really shot up. These guys have just, that's Charles Van Scoik and Sammy Harrell, and a number of other guys have just done a fabulous job. Now in P2, you've got the Average Joe Motorsports Team 1 and Team 2 right there, and 13 Foals Dark Tempest right nipping at their heels. Retro Racing is right there, and Southeastern Motorsports are there as well. So a lot of great team racing here. So you got a race within a race. You've got driver championships and you've got team championships.
Yep, all battling for that coveted championship at the end of the season. We're off. Green flag back in the air with Zach Ward and Joey Doucette leading the field. It looks like Alonzo King in that bright pink car may be able to keep up, but he's going to be an uphill battle as they dive into turn 1. Look who's back up to third there, Rick. The 8 of Chris Worrell. Yep. He is all the way back up there, and he's looking to get home another win.
Well, his last pit stop was a full pit stop. Oh, big drop. That's the 84 of Jesse Vaughn that dropped out of that lead group. So a lot of action going on. We'll try to keep up with what's happening on the track. A lot of battles, but yeah, Chris Worrell right up top. Got the GOAT Racing guys right there. That's Charles Van Skyke and Sammy Harrell, their nose to tail. 81 of Barletta on the outside. There's some tight racing behind. You've got the 3 of Luke Bullard back there. He's got David Clayman right there as well.
Yeah, tough battling all throughout this field, and at this point you got to be careful. You know, you got to be watching your quarter panels, doors, front end of your car, so you don't put yourself in a bad situation. 3 wide coming out of turn 3. Yeah, on cue, but Luke Bullard was able to do it.
Alonzo King is right there at the end of the lead lap, so he is the Last car currently on the lead lap. Well, I take that back. He's made his way around Austin Abel and Pete Wickham. So Austin Abel in the 6 is the last car on the lead. So apparently the damage was not too terrible on that 6 car. Going back up front, big battle between the 08 and the 11. I'm sorry, the 8 and the 11. That's Chris Burrell and Joey Doucette. They are right there challenging Zach Ward.
They are all right there trying to get back up to the front of this pack as they battle, side by side now.
Great battle here between Chris Burrell and Joey Doucette for P2. Dipping at their heels, Ty Bostic is right back there with the GOAT Racing guys, ready for someone to make a mistake.
Yeah, they've made their way all the way up there. Jansen and Carroll, 2 teammates, the 2 purple cars.
Plus 23.
Amazing out of that team. They do it every single week, and they're coming alive at the right time. Another driver coming alive at the right time is the 11 of Joey Doucette. We talked last week is that win's going to carry momentum into the next couple races, and it is. It's carried momentum here just past halfway at Michigan.
All right, folks, we're going to take a quick side-by-side commercial break. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
When veterans get out of the military.
All right, welcome back to the Tech4Troops Michigan 240. We're at lap 63 of 120, just past the halfway point. Zach Ward is currently leading, but he has got Joey Doucette and Chris Burrell on his tail. Burrell and Doucette have been side by side for laps, and the 8 gets around the 11.
He has, and he's looking to get back to the point and take that lead away.
Not to be outdone, the GOAT Racing guys of Van Scoik and Harrell are trying to work their way around the 22 of Ty Bostic. Alonzo King continues to work his way back up. He is now in 12th. And
Looks like that's not going. Yep. Looks like Alonzo King should be all right, and the 8 car is looking to take the lead here again at Michigan out of turn 2. Oh, close call there between the 7 and the 8.
Car on the apron, not sure who that was, but they're still battling here. Zach Ward's not going to just let it go. In fact, he's in the wall, I think, for a bit there. In the wall again for the 7. He is pretty much throwing everything at it to stay right there with the 8, and unfortunately I think those slight mistakes, you can see the damage there on the right side of the 7, have cost him his momentum.
It's going to be interesting to see if this 8 can hold the lead.
Oh,
Oh.
11 is super loose.
Both the 11 and the 7, the 7-11, they are a little bit loose coming out of the 2. But what's interesting is going to be able to see is how long this 8 can hold the lead, knowing that those GOAT Racing guys are right there battling side by side, trying to get the side draft off the 7 machine. You know, their 2 teammates, they are wanting to win. They want that 42 of Sammy Harrell to get a win. So we'll see how this team plays it out as we are now approaching just 50 laps to go here in a few laps.
Most of these guys pitted on lap 49, so we'll be looking for green flag pit stops in about 10 or so laps. Not sure our new pit strategy graphic will tell us anything at this point, John, amongst these leaders.
Yeah, not really sure.
But it looks like that green flag run was just around 30 laps.
Yep, just like what I calculated. So, oh, is that Jesse Vaughn coming into the picture right there at the end of this?
He has made his way up. Jesse Vaughn's right there, kind of showing in 7th with Ty Bostic in the 22 right behind him. That's the 40 of Jeff Nini. He is a lap down car. That's one thing we haven't talked about, and that is that there will be some traffic these guys will have to work their way through.
There will be, especially at this stage in the race, with either some drivers having some issues or some drivers not having the fastest cars out there. We'll see how it plays out, but we're all back up to a decent-sized lead as these guys battle for every inch here. For 2nd place, there comes the GOAT Racing guys in line, but watch out, here's the 11. Oh, it's going to be close, right there, 3 wide. Yep.
Big run, that's the 44 behind them moving in. That's Christoph Hall.
He's still looking for a win, too. All these guys up here at the front, you know, outside of Worrell Van Scoik and Doucette, Bostic looking for a win.
Well, just a couple races left before the playoff cut. Every race, every position is critical.
Oh, every position is, and you know, I think with Van Scoik getting that win, I think that the next driver up that could possibly get one is the 42 of Sammy Harrell. He's been up front very consistently, and it looks like they've been methodical this race. They've been able to move their way up to the front when they need to. So could he possibly get that win? Also, Zach Ward, been up front a lot. We'll see if he's able to get it done.
We're looking for green flag pit stops in around 7 to 8 laps. Chris Worrell continues to show us the way around here. He's got a pretty good lead over the 2nd place car of Chuck Van Scoik. And then they've got, of course, those guys are
car on the wall. They're wrecking. They held it.
This is a battle.
Yeah, the 7 got into the wall big time, and I think the 42 got into his left side or right side, or I guess left side technically. Tough battle there.
Still more contact. Whoa. In the grass.
Got some lawnmowers. That's Christoph Hall. He saves it.
There was some contact there with I think Jesse Vaughn in the 84.
There was. Making his way now back up into the top 10 is Alonzo King. So we'll see what he's able to do. As looks like we have the leader right on the back doorstep of the leader is Van Scoik. So can Van Scoik close the gap and possibly get home another win? It looks like Van Scoik is good on the flatter tracks. Not saying that Michigan is entirely flat by any means, but it's not as banked as some of the mile and a half we go to.
He's definitely running a great race tonight, right there in P2. Joey Doucette's back there. He's got Ty Bostic and Sammy Harrell. Sammy's trying to get his way around the 22 of Bostic. Zach Ward's back there behind. Zach Ward's right there with Jesse Vaughn in that 84. The builder behind him, David Clayman, that is in 9th. 10th is Harley Barletta, and 11th is that pink car of Alonzo King. So we are at lap 76.